Chapter 3: Successful Transitions and Preparation for Adulthood. Our vision is of a SEND and alternative provision system which supports children and young people to successfully move through education and into adulthood. Regardless of whether they have an EHCP, through the wide variety of routes available. Although each child and young person's journey will be different, destination planning should be built in from the earliest stages. And should continue through their education, centered around the aspirations, interests, and needs of the child or young person. Provision should support children and young people to develop independence, contribute to their community, develop positive friendships, be as healthy as possible, and, for the majority of young people, prepare them for higher education and/or employment. The Department for Education's skills reforms will provide a ladder of opportunity to help young people access excellent education and skills training and continue learning through adulthood. To secure good jobs and progress in their careers. To ensure children and young people with SEND have successful transitions and are prepared for adulthood, one, we will publish guidance to support effective transitions between all stages of education and into employment and adult services. Two, we will conduct a pilot to consider the evidence required to access flexibilities to standard English and mathematics requirements for apprenticeships. 3. We will invest £18 million between 2022 and 2025 to double the capacity of the Supported Internships programme. 4. We will continue to support the Department for Work and Pensions Adjustments Passport pilot to smooth the transition into employment. And 5. We will improve the Disabled Students Allowance process. By continuing to work with the Student Loans Company to reduce the time for support to be agreed. Supporting effective transitions. Successful transitions must be well planned. Late planning and decision making for a child or young person's next stage and poor support around transitions. Were clear themes in the consultation feedback, particularly in relation to post-16. Many felt that support is not in place at the point of transition, as information about students' needs is not shared readily, easily, or early enough. For students with an EHCP, local authorities must specify the post-16 provision and name a setting by the 31st of March for students leaving school. But this deadline is regularly missed. For those without an EHCP, there is no consistent approach for sharing this information between schools and post-16 settings. To address this, the Department for Education is developing good practice guidance to support consistent, timely, high-quality transitions for children and young people with SEND and in alternative provision. This will ultimately look at transitions between all stages of education, from early years and will focus initially on transitions into and out of post-16 settings. This includes transitions into employment, adult services, and for young people leaving alternative provision at the end of Key Stage 4, building on learning from the recent Alternative Provision Transition Fund. We are working with the Department for Work and Pensions and key partners from the SEND and post-16 sectors including the Association of Colleges and NatSpec, to develop the project. We are working with young people with different types of need, including those with and without EHCPs, to co-produce the guidance to ensure it improves experiences and outcomes. We will also involve parents and carers. This guidance will feed into the national standards and practice guides as they are developed. We will consider how this is reflected when amending the SEND Code of Practice. As set out in Chapter 5, we are strengthening accountabilities across the 0 to 25 system. To ensure children, young people, and their families receive the support they need, including at key transition points. We are also conducting research to understand current user journeys of young people applying and enrolling in post-16 education. To improve the sharing of information. The Department for Education and the Department for Work and Pensions are working closely together to underpin successful and supported transitions into employment. The Minister for Children, Families and Wellbeing, the Minister for Disabled People, and the Minister for Social Mobility, Youth and Progression will meet regularly to drive forward cross-departmental activity to support those transitions. Case study: George's experience in further education at City College, Norwich. Note: the name of the student in this case study has been changed. George joined the Agriculture and Land-Based College at City College, Norwich and has additional needs of autism. Social, emotional and mental health needs, dyspraxia and hypermobility. The college planned George's transition into college well, involving his parents and the college's specialist EHCP team. Through visits, George was able to orientate his way around the site and reduce his anxiety. George flourished, which soon meant that the support he needed reduced. By the end of the year, George had grown in confidence and independence, which enabled him to give peer support to other learners. George said, "I feel I've made some friends on my course. I have friends from high school who I keep in contact with. I feel I'm on the right course and training to be what I want to be. I'm slowly getting to talk to more of the class. I'm good at practical things and a decent amount of theory." His parents have noted that George is joining in and speaking more. They feel this is a combination of realising that he has to ask for help and that he is enjoying the lessons as they all relate to what he wants to do in the future. Transitions to adult services. We recognise that transitioning between child and adult services, including into adult social care, can be challenging. The Department for Education is working with the Department of Health and Social Care and NHS England to identify how we can improve these transitions, with the aim to include this in the transitions guidance mentioned above. The work set out in Chapter 5 to improve accountability across the Not 25 system will also support this. We are working together with the Department of Health and Social Care to update the statutory guidance for local authorities and NHS organisations. To support implementation of the Adult Autism Strategy, which includes a chapter on transitions. We will also explore good practice to smooth the transition into adult services for young people whose needs are very complex. And who may never be able to undertake paid work, to ensure they have options which enable them to flourish and live life to the full. Higher education. We expect all professionals working with children and young people with SEND to have high aspirations for them. And this includes striving for them to access higher education, or HE. We heard through consultation events that a proportion of young people do not feel effectively supported in transition into HE. with some reporting delays in receiving support through Disabled Students Allowance or DSA. And that there are significant differences in the levels and types of support available at different higher education providers or HEPs. Some consultation responses suggested extending EHCPs to support people in HE to address these issues. In preparation for the 2014 SEND reforms, there was significant discussion with stakeholders, followed by debate in Parliament about whether the statutory SEND system, including EHCPs, should extend to HE. It was decided that it should not, as the HE sector already has a number of systems in place to support young people with disabilities. However, we recognise that more can be done to strengthen these systems. The Department for Education and the Welsh Government are working with a student loans company to reduce the length of time it takes for a student to progress from making their DSA application to having their DSA support agreed. We will also seek to set expectations through our transitions guidance on how students should be supported to transition into HE, including how they should be supported to apply for DSA. The Department for Education agrees with the recommendation from the Disabled Students Commission that university staff need guidance on how to support disabled students. This is so university staff understand the barriers students face and so they can improve student experiences in HE. This recommendation is likely to be included in a commitment the Disabled Students Commission is due to launch in March 2023, asking HEPs to commit to a range of recommended good practice in supporting disabled students. Qualifications reform. The government is committed to supporting students with their future and career planning by improving the quality of qualifications and streamlining their number. Since 2013, we have reformed the national curriculum, GCSEs and A-levels to set world-class standards across all subjects. These reforms were substantial and have made a lasting improvement to qualifications, ensuring they reflect the knowledge and skills all pupils need to progress. Our gold standard qualification system gives all young people, including those with SEND, the opportunity to achieve their full potential and prepare for a huge range of careers. It does this by offering them a wide choice of different, high-quality, evidence-informed academic and technical pathways. Alongside this, our reforms to post-16 Level 2 and below qualifications will help to deliver an improved landscape for students. This will enable learners to benefit from high-quality provision that better equips them for progression into work or further study at a higher level. In the government response to the Post-16 Level 2 and Below Qualifications Review consultation, we set out the groups of qualifications that we intend to fund in the future. Grouping the qualifications by level and by purpose, i.e. whether they support progression to employment or to higher levels of study. We are committed to having flexibilities in place to ensure students with SEND can access these qualification groups. And there will be a range of options at all levels which create pathways through the system. We will also regularly review the mix and balance of qualifications approved and engage with SEND stakeholders to ensure we are meeting the needs of all learners. We are also developing a set of national standards for personal, social and employability skills qualifications. These qualifications provide knowledge and skills to support the transition into employment and are particularly important for some students with SEND. We will design these with experts from the education sector and industry. Drawing on their extensive knowledge and expertise to shape standards that flexibly meet students' needs and deliver relevant knowledge, skills and content in accessible ways. Preparation for employment. We know that with the right preparation and support, the overwhelming majority of young people with SEND are capable of sustained paid employment. Throughout the consultation, we heard repeatedly that children, young people and their families want to be confident that their education is preparing them for work. And that the people working with them share those high ambitions. They want to know what options and pathways are available to them and what support and adjustments can help them succeed. We expect career leaders to work closely with the relevant teachers and professionals in their school or college, including the SEND lead. To identify the careers guidance needs of all pupils, in order to help children, young people and their families understand the full range of relevant education, training and employment opportunities available, and to support them to achieve their ambitions. To support them with this, the Careers and Enterprise Company, or CEC, provides training and support to design and deliver careers education programs tailored to the needs of young people with SEND, regardless of their educational setting. CEC also encourages employers to provide opportunities for young people with SEND to gain experiences of workplaces, employer encounters and employment. The Careers Development Institute provides professional development for careers advisors working with young people with SEND. Over 600,000 primary school pupils will benefit from a new £2.6 million careers programme that will deliver targeted, age-appropriate career support in over 2,200 primary schools to encourage children to think about future jobs and raise aspirations. The programme is a commitment in the school's white paper that will be run by CEC. And which aims to challenge stereotypes, including about people with disabilities. Transitions into employment. In addition to providing career support, we are working with the Department for Work and Pensions to smooth young people's transition into employment. For example, through the pilot of an adjustments passport. The passport aims to raise awareness of in-work support and empower young people to have more structured conversations with employers about their support needs. We have been supporting the passport pilots in 3 HEPs. Evaluation reports show strong agreement from the more than 200 HE students taking part in the pilots, that the passport will help them get adjustments in the workplace. We are working with supported internship and apprenticeship providers to trial the passport with supported interns and apprentices. And will consider whether it could be trialled in different settings. To ensure disabled people can access the support they need in work, the Department for Work and Pensions provides access to work funding. This is a demand-led, discretionary grant that contributes to the disability-related extra costs of working faced by disabled people. And those with a health condition in the workplace which go beyond standard reasonable adjustments. But it does not replace an employer's duty under the Equality Act to make reasonable adjustments. The grant can provide personalised support, including workplace assessments, travel to or in work, support workers, specialist aids and equipment, to enable disabled people to move into or retain employment. Young people on supported internships can claim access to work funding to support them in their work placement where needed. We recognise that some young people will need ongoing support to help them secure and sustain employment in adulthood. And we work closely with the Department for Work and Pensions to ensure our programmes are complementary. The Department for Work and Pensions Local Supported Employment or LSE scheme started in November 2022 and will run until March 2025. Helping people with learning difficulties and/or autism to find and retain work. The aim of the LSE is to develop a sustainable model for delivering supported employment that can help increase the number of supported jobs delivered by local authorities. providing individuals with significant barriers to work with intensive one-to-one support. LSE is being delivered in 28 local authorities across England and Wales and will support around 2,000 people. In 2020-21, the Department for Work and Pensions tested an autism accreditation scheme in 15 of its local offices. This scheme developed a service delivery framework to improve the services that job centres deliver to autistic people. By building the knowledge and skills of work coaches and improving processes and systems to better support autistic job seekers. Although aimed at job seekers on the autism spectrum, the service delivery framework will also have benefits for other customers with additional needs. The test was a success, and the Department for Work and Pensions are now exploring how to roll out autism accreditation across the whole job centre network. Through the Disability Confidence Scheme, the Department for Work and Pensions are working with employers to provide them with the knowledge, skills and confidence they need to attract, recruit, retain and develop disabled people and those with long-term health conditions in the workplace. The scheme encourages employers to think differently about disability and to take positive action to address the issues disabled employees face in the workplace. As of February 2023, there are over 17,700 employers who are members of this scheme, covering over 11 million paid employees. Supported internships. The Green Paper committed to invest £18 million over the next 3 years to build capacity in the Supported Internships programme and support more young people with EHCPs into employment. Since then, we have appointed the Internships Work Consortium as the delivery partner for this investment. They will be working closely with local authorities to double the number of supported internships by 2025. And will engage with all partners in the system to level up the quality of internships across the country. Over 700 job coaches will be trained by 2025 to ensure interns receive high quality support on their work placements. As part of this work, up to £10.8 million in grant funding will be available to all local authorities over the next 3 years, alongside support and training. This will enable all local authorities to access a supported employment forum and strengthen the quality of their supported internship offers. To improve the transition into sustained, paid employment for interns. Case study: Katie's experience on the supported internship programme. Note: the name of the student in this case study has been changed. Katie, who is 20 years old and autistic, was apprehensive when starting her supported internship, as sustaining a job was something she didn't imagine she'd ever be able to accomplish. As part of the program, Katie's employer received close support to understand her needs and any reasonable adjustments required. Katie's job coach supported her with reassurance, confidence, and navigating work life and relationships. Regular check-ins between Katie, her job coach, and her managers ensured they could review, adjust, and work together to help their relationship flourish. The ongoing offer of support during and beyond the internship was key to making it a success. Shortly after starting the role, Katie's confidence grew as she was supported to thrive over her difficulties with peer relationships, social communication, and anxiety. Katie quickly became an invaluable team member, leading to her being offered a full-time position as help desk administrator. Her manager reported that being able to teach a young person our world and seeing it make a positive impact has been the most rewarding part of this placement. Reflecting upon her experience, Katie shared, "I wouldn't be in this job without receiving the support I got. I can see all the hard work paid off. It has opened my eyes to the real world and has made me more confident to try new things." "I feel ready for the future and I'm happy and proud of myself." Apprenticeships. Consultation feedback highlighted the importance of supporting young people with SEND as they move into employment, like an apprenticeship. We are investing in a comprehensive package of professional development for the apprenticeship provider workforce, which we launched in November 2022. The package supports providers to deliver excellent apprenticeships that meet the needs of all individuals, including making reasonable adjustments for apprentices with disabilities. Alongside this, we have published new guidance to make the claims process for learning support funding clearer. Providers can help eligible apprentices to access and complete their learning by claiming additional funding where a reasonable adjustment is provided and evidenced. We are also conducting a pilot to consider the evidence required to access flexibilities to standard English and mathematics requirements. Currently, apprentices with a learning difficulty or disability may be eligible to achieve their apprenticeship with a reduced level of English or mathematics if they hold an EHCP. We heard about the importance of raising employer awareness and encouraging inclusive practices, so young people can access opportunities like apprenticeships. We have been working in partnership with the Disabled Apprentice Network and employers in the Apprenticeship Diversity Champions Network to share the experience of disabled apprentices and examples of best practice support through publications and events during National Apprenticeship Week 2023. We will update our employer roadmap so employers have the information they need to support their apprentices. Employers could receive £1,000 toward the cost of workplace support when they take on an apprentice aged 16 to 18 or 19 to 25 with an EHCP. As well as help to cover the extra cost working individuals may have because of their disability through the Department for Work and Pensions Access to Work scheme. Consultation feedback also highlighted that children and young people wanted more understanding about what apprenticeships entail. The Department for Education's Apprenticeship Support and Knowledge, or ASK programme, continues to inform and inspire young people about apprenticeships, traineeships and T-levels so that they can access these important routes. This includes additional support to students with SEN and working with identified development schools. We will work with the Department for Work and Pensions to ensure that young people with SEND who are in contact with their services through job centres are aware of apprenticeships and of the benefits they would bring to them. Local skills improvement plans. We have published statutory guidance for employer-led local skills improvement plans, or LSIPs. This guidance highlights the important role that national bodies focusing on disability employment, supported employer providers and local disability groups can play in helping education providers and employers to support people with SEND so they can be part of the solution to meeting local skills shortages. This focus on strategic local skills development and supported employment complements the support we are providing to local authorities as part of the Internships Work Programme to strengthen their local supported employment offer.